Alrighty, welcome everybody. Episode 10 of the Pinball Post, and holy crap, we already got a bunch of people in here. So that's really cool to see. Man, let's start off with that. I started looking at this thing and I see 3, 4, 5 people in here before I even start. So awesome. Welcome everybody. It's been another wonderful week of At Games Pinball. So let's frickin' go, Dennis B says. So let's start it off. Let's get some shout outs in here. So Hugh Man, you are here, you're ready to go. He was here before I even started. Pinball Wizard, 15 minutes to go. Awesome, man. Pinball Wizard again. Got some stiff competition on the Zanecore remake tonight. Yes, we're going to talk about that a little bit too. That's part of the daily grind tournament that I've been doing in my Discord. I got to hype that up a little bit. It's been really awesome. Time for some Sunday night pinball. Yep, that is true. The Beamy. Chalada Loves in here. Soggy Bacon. Smash that like. I appreciate that. And PG, welcome, buddy. All right, man. So let's get started. It's been a crazy week, as usual, with At Games and all this stuff that's going on. We're going to talk a little bit about firmware first, though. That is the number one take that it's on everybody's mind right now. We got to talk about it. Just make sure that we're doing it some justice, if you will. There is some very important stuff that's been going on with the community, and we want to make sure to continue to address this in an appropriate manner. So we'll jump over to the first news and notes. This was from 2 days ago. At Games again addressed the community and simply said, "Hey Legends gamers, we've been addressing the connection server and performance issues with At Games. We're happy to share that we've identified the root cause." Yes! Let's cheer, let's be excited about that, because they are continuing to work on fully restoring services and sincerely appreciate our patience. Yes, it has been a long time coming. What is it now? 3.5 weeks, I think it's been, since we had that mysterious Monday firmware and component update. So it's been kind of crazy. But things are looking up. So let's address that really quickly. We're going to jump over to the pinball machine and kind of look at some of that real quick. Leon, welcome to the chat as well, buddy. All right, so we're going to talk real briefly some of the things that have actually been getting better on the HD, on the 4KP in general. If you look at tables now, you'll notice that before when you used to start, this rankings button was actually blacked out. This is now back, so we can actually look at our table rankings without going into a game. This was a feature that was kind of disabled there for a while now. You'll also notice that it goes all the way up to 100, even though it says top 50 rankings only. That is not the case when you get into the game, but outside of the game you can actually get to top 100 now, which is pretty cool. So that was a nice feature that we've seen that has been restored. Let's jump over to settings. There's been a couple new things in here that have actually come back. The first one is probably not significant as of yet, but I expect that in sometime in the near future we'll have it. The friends list has actually been restored. This was actually gone last week, but we can see it's actually back. Again, I don't think they're not doing anything with this yet, but hopefully that will come to be the case at some point. The biggest problem right now is haptic feedback. So haptic feedback, you'll notice solenoid option toggle is still not enabled. And that's probably the biggest elephant in the room right now for new owners. Do not have the access to turn off their solenoids. So that's been a real bummer for people that are picking this thing up new, as in the last few weeks, really the last month, I guess. Solenoids have been stuck on, and if you're anything like me, the first thing you did is you played with those solenoids and thought, these are cool, I'm not going to listen to use them. I'm not going to use them anymore. I'm going to turn them off. They're too damn loud. So it is what it is. Mikey, and welcome to the chat, buddy. Good to have you, man. So yeah, that's been a big problem for the 4K users. But I will say that HD users, things have gotten a lot better. I did a quick short just before I came on air a little bit ago on the HD side, and I can tell you that things have gotten significantly better. Wrong one. There we go. All right. So Ryan, welcome to the chat, man. Yeah, on the HD side now, I can turn on my micro, and this sucker logs in automatically. It has been posting scores. It's very snappy. The App Store is working. Now the HD folks, you always had to buy from the web, and you had to enter in codes to get them to transfer over. They don't show up in the digital locker as of yet, at least not that I've tried since I bought a bunch of games a few days ago. So in fact, we'll jump to that right quick too. So that was something that I did. It was kind of nice to do. We had this big 50% off sale that we talked about last week. It's still going on until the 17th. So if you're interested in buying HD titles for your micro, your HD, definitely now is the time to buy. You can see I bought all of these packs here for a whopping $36. Should have been double that. So I spent $36 and I saved $36. I bought Spatial Deluxe, Zancore Deluxe, Black Belt Deluxe, Future World Deluxe, Supersonic Deluxe, Soccer Kings Deluxe, the rare games, which were the most expensive at $15, which is a bargain when you consider that the $30 regularly. So like $7.50 a piece, and I got them for $15, so $5 a game. That's huge. And then of course Firefighter Wildlands, which just came out, it's been a big hit. So this is something that if you're interested at all in buying any HD tables, now is the time to buy it, absolutely. Now this is above and beyond. This is before I decided to buy the, I went back and decided to buy the Gottlieb games for my Pinball Micro. I have them on the HD. As you know, they come free when you buy your, well, free, you paid for them. But you get them on your HD full-size system if you bought it. But on the Micro, I didn't have them. So I was like, you know, $120 was pretty steep, so I wasn't going to do that. I thought, well, maybe I buy them at $60. Okay, maybe it's a little better. It's half off, right? Well, come to find out, I won the tournament for Retro Legends on Papa Brad's channel this Friday. So I'm like, oh, I got a $25 gift card. So what did I do? I went right back and I said, you know what? I'm going to buy those Gottlieb games. So I got all the Gottlieb games for $35, like $1.60 a game. Now that's a bargain. So I was super excited about that. My Micro HD is better for sure. I was able to submit scores and didn't have to log in every time I turned it on. Ryan, that's awesome to hear, man. HD, it's been looking up big time. I can tell you, even as of last week, even if I tried to do the QR code login, it took me 3-4 times sometimes even to get that to work. But man, now it's working, it's snappy, logs in every time. What a difference. What a difference. I'm so excited. I've definitely been playing that a lot more. It's really nice to play that sucker. I don't know, you know, I got a full-size 4KP right next to me here, and yet I still go back to the Micro and just love playing that thing. It's a killer system. Does a really nice job. So super excited about that. So yes, things are looking up. I'm happy to hear that most of you have had similar experiences when it comes to the HD logins. The 4K, I still have, I know Dr. Torque, I haven't seen him in the chat just yet. He had mentioned that he is having a much better time getting into his system as far as the loading screens. You have the blue loading screens when you log in. Sometimes they can be a minute and a half, 2 minutes or so, and it looks like it should spin, but it doesn't. I've not even had that anymore, so it still happens. It still takes a little bit of time, but once it's up and running, it's been good. I did have some, it was slow to connect a couple of times, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, but after that it's been good, so things are looking up. I will say I am curious now as to whether or not this is going to happen or not. And do you want it to happen? Do you think that Flipper Friends will resume this Friday? This could be something, now that the HD scores are uploading, we've already been able to upload scores on the 4K. Who is looking forward to going back and doing Flipper Friends? If anybody. I'm curious to see what you guys' take on this. I think a lot of us have found other alternatives, whether it be my daily grind on my Discord, or it be calling all ballers, whether it be Retro Legends on Papa Brad's channel, whether it be a Lubs Club, whether it just be Pinball FX, whether you're just doing it on VR. Billy Woods Mods, welcome, man. Yeah, there's been a lot of alternatives out there, and people have really seemed to find what they wanted to do, find a pinball location where they can compete and really enjoy it. So, Billy Woods Mod, you've never done it. Interesting. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the take. You know, the IFP ratings have made it important to a lot of us. And so I played it quite a bit. Obviously, you know, I did Saturday morning streams for weeks and weeks and weeks. I did it. Dennis B, you're all set with Flipper Friends. Yeah, man, that's a lot of people are saying that. I'll do a quick play through Flipper Friends, but I won't be grinding out like before. Yeah, I think the 5 tables really got to people, which is pretty funny because now in my daily grind Discord tournament, we do 7 tables a week. The difference is you only get 1 a day, and it's all bragging rights. You don't have to. You're not worried about grinding. You don't have to submit anything. I mean, it's stupid simple, but yeah, it's been kind of interesting. So anyway, yeah, so Billy Woods, you somehow won the gift card. That was right. I think you won like $10, which was pretty funny. So should be 3 tables, PG. You're probably right, man. 3 tables would have been much more sustainable. I think they've been trying to make us play those Gottlieb games, which are largely broken. We've talked about that 1,000 times. And then you want to play the new Zen tables. You know, you have to play some of those, and then they play like a random game. One thing I will say in my Discord channel, I know I don't want to keep harping on that the people pick the games. The winners of the tournament for the day pick the game for the following day, and so we don't play crap games. A lot of games have been remakes that we don't usually play, and people have been really enjoying those. So it's been really cool to see. So. Yeah, Flipper Friends, if it comes back, do you think it'll have near the following that it did before? I'm willing to bet that it won't. I think largely it was mostly more about selling packs. I think that's really what it came down to. And there was a lot of problems with that. IFPA I don't think is enough of a selling point to get things going. So, is the sound working again on Gottlieb games for the people that didn't have sound? Not yet. I'm expecting... I don't know that we'll get the component update this week, Hugh-Man, but I'm thinking probably early next week. I think it would be premature if they did it this week. It'd be awesome if they did it this week, but I don't think it's going to happen. The IFPA actually updated, I believe. No kidding. I'm going to have to check that out. I have not seen it in forever. So, at least a month. So, but yeah, are people interested in that? Are they, you going to go back? I don't think so. There's definitely has been some interesting stuff referring to that. So it will be something to look forward to and see whether or not people come back or not. I am going to check the IFPA just briefly here. While we got it up, we're going to pop it back up here and see what has actually occurred. Has it changed? I wasn't planning on doing it. It says it was updated on the September 15th, which is interesting. Interesting, right? So... has it changed for me? Absolutely not. So 462 is what I've had forever. Some of you guys that are further up probably seen some scores change here and there. Gelato, I think, was 19th before, so it doesn't look like it's changed much to me, but it is what it is. So UUID, is it fixed? Yes, I have not seen any of those things happening right now. So UUIDs have been largely gone. I don't see them anymore at all when looking and loading up my HD system. Haven't seen them. It's probably been... what's it been? Tuesday, maybe Wednesday is the last time that I've seen the UUID pop up. I think one of the best things that we're starting to see now is this here. When you complete a game, you actually get a score submission. These are incredible scores, by the way. These are from Dennis B. I'm sorry, I had to use Dennis B here. He posted this in my Discord, and I'm like, yes, this is a wonderful sign. We are getting scores uploading to the HD leaderboards. And you'll notice if you look at the leaderboards online, they are actually up to date. They're updating weekly. So now, the funny part is I started playing games that I don't usually play, and I was like 1 or 2 people in the entire channel, which has been kind of interesting. It always shows the current date. Flipper Friends was largely dying out before the system was though basically 20 people on the 4K side. You're not lying, man. It was falling apart, quite frankly. One thing I am gonna do real quick is I'm gonna pop this open. The schedule or the online leaderboards for. We'll do this real quick. Sorry about this, guys. We're gonna pick a game here. Pinball 4K. I think. Was it Kung Fu Panda that I played? Let's see. Oh, that's a DreamWorks game. I apologize. DreamWorks. See, this is if this even works now. No, it's still not. See how it doubles? You say load more, it actually doubles this. This was... I thought this was fixed the other day, but I do not see that as a thing that is working now. Bummer. Zane Core Remake. Yep, this is up to date. So these just happened. Med Ben Han, Soggy Bacon, Shalata Love. Amazing. Look at all these scores. These are all today, folks. These all happened from my daily grind. It's absolutely insane. You guys have been killing it on this this tournament, man. I think Pinball Wizard himself was saying, like, dude, I'm playing this tournament and I'm on the back glass and I'm third in the tournament. So I think that says a lot about the quality of the players that we have playing these things, man. We played this game and we've absolutely taken over the back glass and the charts. It's just been absolutely fantastic. So really cool to see. I really like to play Magic Castle. Yes, Magic Castle. That's a good point. I keep looking, man. I keep looking. It's still not fixed. I keep expecting to go there and just see the blue arrow, and I have not seen it yet. I don't know. Maybe that'll come with the component update, and they'll just do wholesale. You'll get your solenoids fixed. Magic Castle will get an update. Hopefully it all happens at once. That would be fantastic. Correction, weeks 5 and 6 still have not been uploaded to IFPA. All right, thank you for that, Pinball Wizard. Man, yeah, it's been kind of crazy with that. So, a couple things that did happen this week. Obviously, the firmware issues aside, what they are, I think they're getting better. We definitely see that as being the case. But we did get, strangely enough, we still had a release. We still had Star God Deluxe show up this week. This game went off without a hitch, no problems. It plays well, looks well. I did a live impressions gameplay review and video on this on Wednesday. The gameplay is really good. I think a lot of people really like it. It was getting lots of people playing it. The back glass was blowing up. The scores are well over 1 billion already. I expected that when I played it. I'm like, oh man, this thing's it's gonna go down pretty quick. And it really has. So it's been really cool to see. Really exciting. Star God Deluxe. Like I said, this one's kind of like a Clash of the Titans sort of Game of Thrones-y type of thing. Dennis Mangrel, welcome to the chat, man. Star God is pretty good. Yeah, I think a lot of people like Star God. This one was... I don't think a lot of people knew about this one coming from the Steam side, but I knew this one was going to be good. I really enjoyed this one a lot. I think Tropical will probably be the next one next week. On the 24th, I'm expecting Tropical Deluxe to drop. We talked about that last week. But one thing I'm going to make a bold prediction on, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but this is the week, right? So I'm expecting that this happens this week. We will see. I could be very wrong, but I'm going to make this bold prediction right here, right now. Let's say Circus Voltaire comes out this week. Okay, 17th. I'm going to say the 17th. And it'll be $5 on the 4KP. Hopefully it happens. I think this will happen. Maybe not Circus Voltaire. It might not be Circus Voltaire, but I would love to see this happen. This one will be very interesting because of the back glass being in the back of the playfield. What they'll do with the actual DMD on the 4KP. So I'll be curious to see how that all works out. I bet HD gets Star God Deluxe the day after the sale ends. Leon, I hope that's not the case. Yeah, Star God, that's a good point too. And I didn't mention that. Star God Deluxe did not come out on the HD as of yet. I mentioned it in the review and a little bit of discussions and stuff this week. But yeah, Star God Deluxe has not come out for the HD folks yet. So sadly, I know a lot of you are looking forward to it. It is a great game. You will get it. It's just a matter of time. There was a lot of fear, actually. I had a lot of people asking, oh dear, I guess we're done. We're not getting any more HD tables. That is not the case. There's lots of HD tables coming. I guess we talked about that a little bit last week. We got 5 more At Games Originals coming, plus all of the rest of the deluxe tables that are already coming out. I did forget to mention Pinball Champ Deluxe. That's one that is coming too that I forgot about. We talked about Granada. We talked about Mexico. Tropical Deluxe. Time Machine Deluxe, and I think there was one other one. I already said Tropical. Pinball Champ. Oh, Clown Deluxe, that's another one that's coming. So, yeah, there's definitely coming there. Yeah, Dennis, we did talk about firmware, and it's a lot better, man. So, I do expect, like I said, I would be really interested to see if it happens this week. I think early next week it's probably going to be the main component update for the firmware to be fixed. But we'll see. That would be my take. Maybe that's ambitious. I think if it happens this week, I think we would all be excited. But I think that they just confessed 2 days ago that they found the root problem. I would expect they're going to want to fully vet this thing this time. They're going to want to get it out, make sure it works, right? Right? They can't screw this up again, right? They cannot do another component update and have it break something else. They cannot do that. Especially since these things have been down for almost a month. New purchases have been, new people that have purchased this system in the last month are probably screaming that they can't get the solenoids to turn off. All kinds of problems. So, a lot of love. You're like, hope so, fingers crossed. Yeah, absolutely, man. Dying for Circus Voltaire, Pete G, I'm with you, man. That is one of the games that I played in real life early in my pinball career. There's a guy on the West Coast, on the west side of Michigan that I was friends with. He's he's an electrical engineer. I'm going to be doing his tournament here on the 27th of September. He brought Circus Voltaire to work, and I played that game to death. And mind you, this is like a $12,000 machine. This is not a cheap machine. So if you get the opportunity to play this in real life, you absolutely have to do it. It is fantastic. It is beautiful. The neon is absolutely fantastic on this game. So, incredible. Star Gods Multipole is achievable and modes are not super difficult. You're right. The modes are great. You can get into the modes. You can choose to do the modes if you want. There's sword and armor and even helmet on the upper playfield. They're all accessible and super easy to do. You can get about 200 million points just going through those. Every mode may get you about 10 to 12 million points per. So you could do that, or you can just say, hey, I'm going to shoot these 2 snake multi-ball ramps in the middle 2 times, and then shoot the drop targets down to start multi-ball, and just go nuts. And then it's 1, 2, 3, and 5 million per ramp shot, or orbit shot, and just go nuts on multi-ball. And we've already seen scores in the billions, so it's been absolutely really cool. I expect a lot of that to happen on most Magic Pixel games at this point. And there was some discussion we had about that in the Discord too. It's largely the modes have been falling by the wayside. If you look at the remake tables that we have on the Zachariah side, you'll notice a lot of them have some really good modes, and the modes are worth good points. We've seen it on Nautilus Remake, we've seen it on Zanecore Remake today, we've seen it on quite a few different tables in the last couple of weeks or so, where modes were important and they were more creative and more fun, quite frankly. Multi-ball was harder to get and less accessible, and largely nowadays you get a Magic Pixel table, you figure out what the exploit is, and you just exploit the hell out of it. It's multi-ball, multi-ball, multi-ball. It's this upper playfield, it's the spinner, it's these bumpers, it's these rollovers, whatever it is. Exploit it, exploit it, exploit it. Firepower Wildlands. As soon as we found out what the Firehawk multi-ball was, nobody's going to do the modes on that game. The modes are so incredibly difficult on that game. But multi-ball can make you 700 million points within 10 minutes. So it's just huge. I mean, yeah, there's been just crazy stuff on that. So the chat's blowing up. I love it, you guys. This is so cool to see. So yeah, and they can screw it up at Billy Woods. You're absolutely right, man. We would definitely want to see this. I would much rather them take an extra week, even 2, if need be. Even if they've got it figured out and they're absolutely fixed right now, I would rather them take another week, make damn sure this thing works, get it out the door next week, and tell us, look, it's coming out next Tuesday. I would rather them not shadow drop it, to be honest. Because if we turn on our systems and all of a sudden we have to do the component update without knowing if it's good or not, that's also going to be a problem. So at games, if you're watching, I know you're not, but if you were, please tell us. Tell us, hey, Tuesday morning at 12 noon Eastern time, we're going to do a component update. And if you don't want to be a part of that, leave your system off. Or, turn it on airplane mode or whatever you need to do so that we can play our games in the meantime and make sure that this thing works. There's going to be some apprehension there for sure. So I think if they would be very wise to tell us ahead of time, hey, we're going to do the component update. You don't have to trust us. That's the last thing that you're going to expect from them at this point is trust, because we have had some major stuff go on. So, would like to see more Pinball M. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, I see that in the chat. Absolutely. Between Star Wars Pinball M and some Marvel, yeah, it'd be fantastic, man. I know some Pinball M is coming. They've been talking about that in the Discords in the Zen Studios Discord. So Balti Zen, or Balti has said there are multiple tables. She has said tables with an S. Pinball M games are coming. So we know that there's multiple tables coming. So that's huge. Whether or not they get dropped for everything, like whether it be VR and or just Pinball M, or if they come over, how they get distributed will be really interesting to see. But man, really would like to see them vetting it before releasing firmware. Yeah, you're not kidding, man. So that's been a real concern, and we don't want it to be a problem anymore. Now, what's funny is during all of this, this is the kind of thing that we're still seeing, and this part is kind of frustrating to me. You'll notice, as of 2 days ago, there's still, the micro is for sale. Now, granted, we just said that the HD system is largely fixed now, so if you bought this in the last week or two, it's working now. So you're like, okay, we're good, right? Hopefully nothing more breaks. But they've been selling these. They extended the sale for this. So you can see here it says, yes, the deal is still going, and it's still a good deal. Yes, $400 for the Pinball Micro. I gotta say, $400 for this is a really good price. I really enjoy this thing. It's not very big. I would recommend getting some legs for it and some furniturizers just to get it up to a better level. But it's a really cool system. It really does a lot. The 1080p screen, 60 FPS. It's super travelable. You could take it with you if you wanted to go somewhere or do an event at work like I do. It's a really good system for that. So anyway, it's funny that they still had those sales going on. And then, of course, if you wanted the 4K, which doesn't make sense at all, I don't think they should be pushing these right now. This sale is still going on from September 12th through the 15th. Mid-September Madness, which is oddly specific at that point. You can get the Addams Family table. But if you bought this and purchased it and it showed up at your house, you can't turn the solenoids off. So, man, this is something I would have rather them waited on. At least the HD, when you get it, you know it's going to fully work. The 4K still is not working to its full potential. And so you're going to really tick off the people that have bought this thing right now. So that's really frustrating to me. But, hey, they're going to do... At games, going to at games, right? So, it's what it is. Alright, so let's go to the next thing we need to talk about is what is next. There's all kinds of stuff kind of going on, and we need to continue to talk about not only the stuff that's gone on in the last week, but what's coming up. We know the 50% sales is still going on until the 17th, so if you're still interested in games, definitely do that. We've talked about firmware, we've talked about the HD largely being fixed. That's been awesome. Star God Deluxe release went well. What's next? We talked a little about Circus Voltaire. That's one thing. Next up, let's talk about the content creator calendar. So again, this is September 20 for 2025. This week, we don't know for sure if there's going to be a release or not, so this is going to be a little tentative. But as you know, today is the 14th. We've got the Pinball Post. You're already here, so you found us. Tomorrow is going to be the episode of the Wizard Room on Tomato Grass's channel. They are going to be showcasing Black Rose. So if you're interested in some high-end gameplay on Black Rose, which is an awesome game, kind of a Pirates of the Caribbean type of theme, awesome game. Black Rose, fantastic pirate-based game. Super fun. You can, with the double broadside early in that game, you can either make or break it really quickly. But there's some awesome gameplay. These guys are going to destroy the leaderboards on that game. When you sink ships, you can do it back and forth, spotting letters and things like that. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. Wizard Room, tomorrow night. If you're interested in it, definitely check it out. It has a triple screen format after the discussion portion in the beginning, and it's fantastic. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Tuesday, as always, we have Charlotta Love, who does the lunchtime pinball. Used to be Flipper Friends, now it's a spinning of a wheel since we don't have Flipper Friends, but it's really cool. He does some VPX games thrown in there as well. Wednesday is a tentative. We don't know anything. I put out my bold prediction that Circus Voltaire is going to release that day. It might not be Circus Voltaire. It could be something else Zen. It could be anything Zen. But it will. I don't think we'll get anything for Magic Pixel this week. I think it'll definitely be a Zen release this week, if we get anything. So if we don't, we don't. And with that, Yo Retro, if we do get a release, Yo Retro will be on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. If they do not have a release, then Yo Retro will not be going live. So just know that going in. Soggy Bacon. Black Rose is one of the catchiest musical scores. Love that table. Yes, it is absolutely a wonderful score. Clearing out the 4K inventory, says Leon. It may not be long for this world. No. The 4K is not going anywhere. I think they're going to continue to make them. I venture to say eventually they're going to kick out a Star Wars themed one at some point, a new skin, and then I think that will go gangbusters. So. You see that sucker in a Costco, I think it'll sell better than the Star Wars Stern Home Edition. So that would be really interesting to see. If your Costco is like mine, you have this beautiful Star Wars Home Edition sitting on the floor with no ball in it. You can't even try it. It's so stupid. They're trying to sell these things for $4,000, sight unseen. You can't even play it. So stupid. You hate that parrot. That's a good tip, PG. If you get the parrot and Polly starts talking, tap your flippers really fast. You can kill Polly and get 2 million points for that on Black Rose. So definitely make sure to do that. Maybe an original table release. Yeah. Well, we know that we've talked about the HDP, Leon. That's coming. That's a 1080p version of the 4K. I know that's a misnomer or oxymoron. But yeah, an HD version of a 4K chipset, which is the rock chip that we know of, and it's said to have the Ninja Turtles license on it, so an At Games original. So really interesting to see whether or not that gets announced. It hasn't happened as of yet. So Pinball Micro is cool, semi-portable, great introduction to virtual pinball at a low price. I totally agree, Pinball Wizard. I actually got mine for $250, believe it or not. I bought that thing for $250. I drove about 3 hours down to Lebanon, Ohio, north of Cincinnati, to pick it up and brought it all the way home, and I was absolutely thrilled. One thing it had wrong with it is the audio pop in the speakers, but I've largely corrected that by adding a background music of silence. Believe it or not. I put in like a half-hour long musical, you can set your own default menu music on the micro, on the HD systems. I actually put in a audio MP3, if you will, of silence, and it actually works. It takes out the pop, and you only hear like a pop maybe once every half hour or every hour or so, as opposed to that tick, 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 tick that you always hear. So if you have audio pop, get yourself a silence video and put it as your background audio. So if you've ever done that. Maybe they would do a 4K mini Mad Ben. Dude, I would be all about that. I would love to see the 4K games capable in the micro size. I would be all over that thing. I would rebuy every single stinking game. Can you imagine? I would absolutely do it. I've even mentioned, would they do a nano could they do an At Games Nano? And so what that would be, it would be this, basically. This is a Legion Go. Could you take a, let's see, this is a Legion Go here. So you could take this, it would just be like this, with a little bit of an arc on it, right? Have some legs and a couple buttons. You could turn that into an At Games Micro or an At Games Nano. Oh my goodness. I would totally buy it. I'm a sucker. I would totally buy it. I already have the Legion Go. I already have a lot of those games on here. But that would be something I would be super excited for. A super portable, travelable version. I would be ecstatic. So, next up, Thursday, you have Chilato Love again doing the VPX on Thursdays. Those are going to probably start up again soon. The VPX standalone crew on Mox's Game Room has been off for vacation over the summer, taking a much needed break. I would expect that they're going to come back with abandon, with all kinds of new tables releasing again for the Wizard. Wizard releases every Wednesday with Ominous OC and Dr. Wraith and Nyx and Blaze and all those wonderful people that put together that content. You'd expect that is going to start up again pretty soon here. So super excited to see that. And then, of course, Papa Brad's Gaming on Friday nights goes over his Retro Legends tournament. So if you're excited in doing that, that's an I Scored. So check that out. You can jump over there. He does 2 pinball games a week and 1 arcade game, much like Calling All Ballers does, and you can get involved and do that as well. So lots of alternatives still for gaming and competition and keeping up to date on a lot of stuff. So would love to have an HD mount capable on the 4K HD for my videos. Lining up the camera for every video is such a pain in the butt. Yes, Billy Woods, and you do a fantastic job of that. We don't ever have to think about it, but you're right. An HDMI out, or like a way to have a direct feed for streaming, would be awesome. It's funny, if you look at the HD systems, they actually have a streaming option that was never used, but it does not exist on the 4K side, not even the faux option of it. It would have been really nice to see. You know, we've done camera setups and it has its level of difficulties with shadows and different things like that. You'll notice even on my screen here, I have to play with lighting. You see here I could turn off some of the above lighting and it actually cleans it up quite a bit. So the Woods Queen, the old school tables, has some interesting back glasses. Theater of Magic, hey, just a quick note for this. I actually beat the Wizard mode for this week, so this was fantastic. I did this on the VR system. That was really cool. So, yeah, I think, you know, we've had this time off from Flipper Friends, and it's actually been kind of nice for a lot of things. And actually, let's go back to that. I'm going to show you a couple more things on here that I have done, which have been super exciting. So I'm going to jump over to my favorites here. Check this out. So this is a game that came out, what, maybe a month ago, Samurai's Vengeance. Check this out. Look who's number 4 on this sucker. Right? Now this table is broken. It needs a patch. I lost a game where I had 30 million, which would have put me 4th, and I was livid. Absolutely livid. But I was able to collect myself, go back and do it again, and actually got back to 4th, and it's almost an identical score that I would have had I done it, so that was interesting. And then Brother in Arms was another one that I played a few weeks ago. All this stuff happening during Flipper Friends Void. Look at this, number 1 on the back glass for this one. So it's been really fun for me to tackle some games that I never really found time to do, and I've really been enjoying that quite a bit. So been very exciting, I gotta say. Kung Fu Panda is one that I've continued to try to put up a good score on, and I just can't seem to get past it. That table eludes me on a very difficult scale. So, but yes, it's been fun to actually take that time and do things a little differently. I don't bother with lighting, that's why my production value is so high, Dennis B. And Dennis B, yes, let's pub you again, man. Foul-mouthed video reviews is an awesome theme and a really cool way of doing things. Dennis Mango, you love Brother in Arms, but it is hard. Yes, I love Brother in Arms. It's a great game. It is hard. Completely black out my room to capture my footage. Billy Woods, that's funny because I do the exact same thing. When I do my videos, I am basically standing in the dark, and I have this camera that I'm filming with now, which has a spotlight on it. And I basically have all the other lights off, and that gives me the best video quality for, I don't have any additional shadows or any of that kind of thing. You do get some reflections from the DMD, from the playfield and things like that, but otherwise it looks largely pretty good. So, Kung Fu Panda eludes everyone. It's that game, man. I am all for... I gotta be careful how I word this. I'm not for bouncy physics, but for some reason the Zen Originals physics to me have worked really well for my scores. You'll notice a lot of my favorite tables, like Garfield, My Little Pony, Brother in Arms, that Samurai's Vengeance, I didn't rate very well, but I love playing that game. It's hard as nails. But for some reason I can tackle those games and I can deal with the physics. And I can score pretty damn well on those. Borderlands is another one. I hate that game, but I keep going back to it. I just want to do well. And so it's just funny that kind of works. But you'd be best shaking that question off at Mox's Game Room. Yeah, if there's any questions you have about VPX standalone or any of that stuff, Mox's Game Room is the absolute place to go for that stuff. Their team is absolutely fantastic in helping you with that. So Roadshow has been super fun. Mad Dog, welcome to the stream, buddy. Yeah, Roadshow is awesome, and if that's a fairly new game, so there's opportunities there. But you gotta be able to willing to grind a little bit. You're gonna be putting up some 2 billion in points before you get some golden opportunities there, because the scores are going up big time. Yeah, you're absolutely right, PG. Battlestar Galactica and Trolls work really well with those physics. So it's really funny because some of those tables really seem to benefit pretty well from that. And they feel pretty good, feel pretty accurate. But then something that's a little more crowded, you got like Vern's Mysterious Island. Those physics do not work well on that table. It is very crowded, it's very dangerous. Yeah, and you love the foul mode tutorials. Billy Woods Mods, that's actually Dennis B, not Dennis Mangold, though. So make sure you get your Dennises right. There's two Dennises, two famous Dennises in this community. You got Dennis Mangill and Dennis B. Get them right, man. You got to get them right. So, yeah, I can say this. I am the only Troy in this community. So that's always been the case for me mostly. I think there's been 2 other Troys that I've ever met, let alone had to deal with. So, yes, Dennis B25 is the foul-mouth video tutorial. So, yeah, for sure, man. Good stuff. You gotta get your Dennises right. It's very important to this community, man. You gotta do that right. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Oh, man. Alright, so let's do one more hype for this thing. We gotta do it one more time. If you've not been involved in the Daily Grind tournament, I would highly recommend it. I put a link to my Discord in the description of this video. If you are not participating in any type of competitive tournaments or anything, I would highly recommend the Daily Grind tournament. You can put as much effort into this or as little as you want. It is a daily tournament. The winner picks the table, and we have no repeats, so we're not going to be repeating a game for almost 6 months. We have, 243 tables as of right now. I think we've gone through maybe 13 or 14 at this point. It's been, almost 2 weeks now of the Daily Grind. So we've gone through a lot of games, but obviously no repeats. We're going to get into some retro tables at some point. People are going to pick them, whether or not they're trolling or otherwise. But I think this is a really fun one. This is a Scouts Honor type of thing. You're putting in your scores and you're competing with your friends. And if you don't like the table, just don't play it that day. If you don't have an HD, or if it's an HD or 4K table and you have an HD, well, you won't be able to participate for that day. You get the day off, so to speak. I'm going to generally not do the daily grind during days of new release, just so that we can all be excited and play the new releases. So anytime there's a new release, we'll say a daily grind is stopped for the day, and we'll pick it up on the following day. So this is just one alternative again to do it. Obviously, you have to be a part of my Discord, which not everybody has Discord, so I apologize for that. But a lot of you may have, a lot of you don't have Facebook either. We talked about that either. So a lot of the other tournaments require you to be on Facebook to see the groups or for whatever reason. So this is just one other thing that you can. And if you guys, there's a lot of people in the chat that are in the daily grind. They've played it. Their scores are all over the place. They've all really appreciated it. I'm really surprised that I kind of just threw that thing together and threw it up on the Discord, and people have been absolutely loving it just because of the variety of tables. The competition has been very difficult. But some days, if you're lucky and you don't have to play against Chalada Love or Mad Ben, some days you have a little more of a chance than others, depending on the day. But Pinball Wizard brings it, Dennis B, Soggy Bacon. Mia, I actually won the other day, believe it or not. I couldn't believe it. So you never know, man. Anybody can win. And if you have everybody, if the same people are going to keep winning again and again and again, we make it eligible so that the winner just picks somebody who hasn't picked a table to pick a table, and it just makes it fun. Obviously there's no IFP points or any of that crazy stuff, so it just makes it a lot of fun. We can do what it is and just do what it is. So anyway, that's the final hype for that. So that is the week that was for At Games. I will say we have another exciting week this week. I think things are continuing to look forward to bigger and better things. I would like to think that when they drop the component update, that everything will be fixed, including solenoids. I'm actually looking forward to the fact that, and I could be wrong, I could be very wrong, and maybe I'm overly optimistic, but what about by the end of the year we actually have another alternative to tournaments and or friends one-on-one head-to-head play on the 4KP or HDP? Wouldn't that be fantastic? I'm hoping that's going to be a part of one of the component updates before the end of the year. I will say whoever these developers are that they brought in to fix this stuff, they probably took a couple weeks figuring out what the heck was wrong with that thing, and they're now implementing lasting change. So I'm very excited for the future of this platform. So hopefully you guys are as well. It looks to be a strong community, regardless of all the problems we've had. It has been really exciting to see. So yeah, I gotta get my act together and start jumping into the grind. Billy Woods, you gotta do it, man. Just it's super easy. Pick a table and just jump in, man. You don't have to win it. You just have to enjoy it. I'm surprised at how many people have said that they've learned a bunch of stuff about it, or they've never played the table, for example. That's happened a lot. People have not played the table at all, and like, hey, we're going to check it out, and then they end up loving the damn thing. So it's been really cool. Papa Brad, welcome to the stream, buddy. So yeah, it's been one of those things, man, where it's just been, we've kind of evolved from Flipper Friends and grinding 5 tables down to a couple tables or a table a day, or you do Retro Legends or Calling All Ballers. There's all kinds of different options. So it's always been really cool to see. So with that, I don't have any more additional slides or anything crazy like that. If you guys are wanting to get back to Sunday Night Football, watch the Falcons and Vikings, I totally get it. I will end it there. And I tell you what, man, enjoy this week. We're coming to the end of summer. Hopefully you guys can get out and enjoy the little time that we have left outdoors. I know for Michigan, the end of the season is nigh. The leaves are already starting to fall, and I have these stupid little yellow leaves that I have to suck up with the vacuum cleaner, or not the vacuum cleaner. I changed my, look at that, now I'm losing my camera and everything else. I have to change my lawnmowers so that I can suck up all these leaves and put them in bags so that I can continue to do my life. But anyway, thank you guys for stopping by and making this a part of your week. I look forward to great things, and with any luck, we'll get Circus Voltaire this week or another Zen release. We'll see. Hopefully Wednesday, the 17th. And if I'm right, definitely check out the Discord and give me a high five. That would be fantastic. So anyway, guys, remember, what do I always say? You only need one ball for greatness. Keep plunging. We'll see you next time.